Just what'd you dislike on day one from the 2 sessions?
Yeah, I think, every start of every season, the first day is always kind of the first day. You guys have anxiety, you guys have the jitters of just being out here. And then in the afternoon practice, obviously you deal with some of the heat, but there's no excuse. We've been running through a lot of these things in player-led practices, and the guys should have a good grasp of what they're doing, especially on these first couple of days. So I would say the urgency and the effort in Group 1 was probably better. Overall, kind of proud of the offense's ability to respond with maybe slightly less numbers in the second practice. So it will come together. And there's going to be some rotation inside of these practices from guys jumping from one to the next.
Who was maybe 1 or 2 standouts you saw from each from the morning and the afternoon today?
For me, I'm so big into the effort, especially in the first day, because it's something that needs to show up daily. Bobby was great at DN for us. He's just hustling his tail off. Overall, I'll have to keep watching this group and see the overall effort, but there's a lot of guys that took a lot of reps. In this one, Keith Brown took a good portion of the whole day solo and didn't complain about it, and probably is one of the better conditioned guys to go out and execute on a high rate. So we'll see. I'm not overly concerned about first day mistakes. We'll correct it and move forward.
A.J. Davis with a pick a few minutes ago. What have you made of his? I was just first day of fall camp so far.
Well, the pick landed in his lap, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good at times. But AJ's he's just learning right now, honestly, and he's learning the tempo and the system and trying to make sure that he's doing his part for the team. So we'll continue to watch him and coach him. I mean, obviously he hasn't played in this system, but he is a smart kid and he knows what he's doing. It's just, can we get him to do it at the right rate at full speed all the time?
What did you make of the quarterback play today?
It was solid. You guys are going to ask me the same question every day, and I'm not going to give you an answer really on any of it until we continue to move through spring ball. But overall, guys leading maybe groups that they didn't run with in the summer is important, and then being able to win the whole team over. So Johnny and Jackson ran with this group today. And then earlier it was Zevi and Julian in that first practice. So we'll continue to mix it up to make sure that every quarterback is running with the potential 1-0 line, more experienced group, so it's an even split.
Coach, do you believe that day one sets the tone, or is it just every other day is going to have their highs and lows, or is it set the tone from here on out?
You know what? Every day is its own day. I think it's the goal to try to come out and beat your best that you just did the day prior. So for me, the expectation's never going to drop. Nobody's going to save us. Nobody's going to feel bad for us, and I'm not going to feel bad for them as we try to prepare to be our best.
Can you tell us a little bit about, how you try and keep these guys cool? I know you have the split practice days, but, keeping them cool. I saw a lot of those guys pouring water on their heads in this second practice. Do you switch that? Did then the guys in the morning go in the afternoon or anything like that?
Some of them, not all of them, but I'm not God. I can't control the weather, and nobody's going to save us when it gets hot on our road games, so I can't be concerned about the weather, and hopefully I'm trying to get the mentality that it doesn't matter where we're playing or what the weather is or the circumstance or the situation. We got to deliver our best, and we got to lock in.
Coach, how important are these split practices when you have, some guys who may not be, in the same group with each other as the season goes on, but, they get that communication early on and get to learn each other's play styles? How crucial is that as you build this team?
Well, there's 74 different new players on this team. I think it's really important to get to know each other in every aspect. But when you're playing next to somebody, obviously there becomes a growing comfortability with the guy that you play next to and the communication that's had from play to play. So I think it's important early on to try to mix the group and give everybody an opportunity to maximize the reps that they want. Majority of players want reps until they get reps, and then they wonder why they're getting so many reps. So for me, I'm trying to maximize the technique in Indy and the ability to showcase their talent. If they want to start, they got to earn it.
And then for you specifically, did you accomplish what you wanted to in your first day of fall camp? And as you move throughout the next couple of days, what do you hope to get before next week starts up with full pads?
Yeah, some of this is more technique-based stuff. Obviously, we don't have pads on, so there's not a whole ton of banging. But when you get to a team segments working together in unison with one another, the communication's everything. Inside of Indy, it's the proper footwork and the technique and the hand placement and things like that, and the ability to maximize all the the reps is really important. When we move to the third practice, when we're in padded, it'll be a little bit more competitive and a little bit more physical. And then obviously we're not going to go full pads until next week. So we'll worry about next week when it comes.
Building off of that just a little bit, as far as the energy level, did you kind of see what you wanted to see in the effort level that you were talking about?
You know what? Highs and lows in both groups. There are moments here where I felt like the practice started good with the right energy, and then the heat got the best of this group a little bit. There were certain guys that stood out and how they were trying to lead. Obviously, you have to take that in when you're out here because the film doesn't have volume to it. So the first group, I felt like the effort for the most part in wanting to do right was pretty consistent, but they didn't also have to deal with these elements.
Last one for me, just kind of when you woke up this morning, and if you could have chosen one first priority just to attack the day with this group, what would you have said that first priority was?
Well, my biggest thing for the whole group to start this practice was focus. You know, we end every meeting with the term focus finish, and for us it's so important to come out here and not miss a beat, to be really locked into the opportunities that you get and maximize those moments, because in all honesty it seemed like a lot of reps because there's less people, but it's really they got 20 reps. So if they want to play a full game, they're going to take way more than 20 reps.
When you talk about that effort, no matter the weather, how can you kind of coach that up and get that to the level that you expect?
It's endurance. It's harping on it. It's, I think naturally we all kind of gravitate towards wanting something that's naturally easier when things get tough. And this schedule is not easy in any means. So they're going to hear that same constant message from me. I'm not going to feel bad for a team that has a lot of work to do. And I'm excited about what these guys can do because there's talent. There's no question. It's just coming together as one and pushing through hard times together as we move forward.
What was your mood this morning when you woke up, and how excited were you to get to the office and get to work?
Yeah, I was just excited for yesterday, honestly. I'm a day-to-day person. Try to be really consistent with how I talk to the team and my energy level. And, I'm just excited for this. But reality, I'm not even thinking about the season. We'll continue to progress. We have a team meeting here in a little bit and get these guys off their feet for the rest of the night and do another walkthrough here later to learn from our mistakes. But that's what my mindset's on, is trying to grow tonight.